Hi, this is John Hope-Bryant. I'm the founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Operation Hope. I'm also the co-founder, the proud co-founder of Global Dignity, which was inspired by three brothers, we joke, from other mothers. The Crown Prince of Norway, Håkon Magnus, Professor Pekka-Himanen of Finland, the youngest PhD in the history of Finland, and myself. We founded it as Young Global Leaders, tied to the World Economic Forum, after we met in Zermatt, Switzerland in 2005. But the larger context is that we wanted to provide a new language for the world. I'm here, by the way, in Oslo, Norway this week for the Oslo Meetings, the annual meeting of the co-founders, as well as the country chairs. We have 25 country chairs now from around the world. Last year, Global Dignity was taught to over 100,000 children in 50 countries on October 20th at no cost to schools or government, thanks to the generous donors of Operation Hope and to Global Dignity and self-sponsored donors in these countries around the world where people just sort of took on the costs themselves. But before I get into how Global Dignity was formed, let me tell you how it's structured. It is its own 501c3 nonprofit incorporated in the United States. It's housed at the Operation Hope New York office under the leadership of Mary Haggerty and Shannon Campbell. It is considered to be a sister organization of Operation Hope. Thanks to Operation Hope burdening the cost, it has virtually no administrative overhead costs. So as an autonomous 501c3 nonprofit, we can say that nearly every dollar that is donated to Global Dignity goes directly to the bottom line. Operation Hope, the parent organization, absorbs those costs so that Global Dignity does not have to, at least until this point, to bear them. Global Dignity is, if you look at Operation Hope as a holding company, it is one of the entities that Operation Hope has helped to fuel, to spawn, to encourage, to sponsor its existence. It's an independent organization from Operation Hope, but it has been fostered by the seeds of Operation Hope and our partners, and we want to thank all our partners for that. And then you've had Roland Berger, who's provided in-kind staff, and Roland Berger has provided consultancy services to us for free to get the movement going. The World Economic Forum and the Young Global Leaders has been invaluably useful and supportive of this mission. Now let's go back to how it was formed. Operation Hope is in our 20th year. Back in 2005, so 7 years ago, I was invited to become a Young Global Leader. We were together in Zermatt, and all these nationalities from all over the world were talking about changing the world, but no one would talk about religion. They were afraid to offend other religions and other cultures. One of the reasons I wear this bracelet here, which was given to me by my mentor Quincy Jones, is that it has all the religions of all the world reflected on it. But no one wanted to offend, so we ended up talking about nothing. But I thought that how can you call yourself a leader unless you're prepared to serve, and how can you be a leader or seek to be one unless you're serving something larger and more important than yourself? And how do we do that without seeking to talk about the spirit that guides us all, but without offending anyone? We found that the energy that fueled the world, one that every human being feels and desires, that offends no one, translates almost universally all around the world, is this thing we call dignity. In South Africa, they call it Ubuntu. I am me because you are you. It translates literally on every continent without offense. And so we decided to pursue global dignity as a new language around the world. And then Dignity Days, which has now been done in well over 80 countries around the world, has been fused into classrooms, into schools, to teach young people a new language in a new world, so they grow up being focused on something that binds us together versus something that separates us and tears us apart. The first country to adopt this was South Africa. They've fused this into some of their schools in Gauteng. You know that to be Johannesburg, and the Western Cape, in Cape Flats, some of the poor and low-wealth neighborhoods there. And so we thank South Africa for its boldness and its what I call Secretary of Education, in the Ministry of Education, and Mosheka, Angela Mosheka, who is the first person who adopted our work there for Banking Our Future, our financial literacy work, but said we had to empower women and girls. Thank you for that, Secretary Mosheka. But also encouraged us to bring in this component of dignity, which we did. Fast forward to today, Crown Prince Haakon in Norway has impacted in 1 year alone 70,000 children here in Norway with this work and with all their volunteers. So thank you, Global Dignity Norway. But Global Dignity United States, for which I represent, Shannon Campbell has told me, when I get these numbers right, we have reported now 200,000 young people who've gone through a course in dignity tied to our financial literacy work, which we now call financial dignity work, for Banking on Our Future. We've added it as the first module that any kid is taught before they're taught the language of money, before they're taught checking, savings, credit, investment, the history of banking. They're taught a course in dignity, because we believe that real wealth is inside out, not outside on. Outside on is riches and not wealth. So we've educated 200,000 young people since we formalized this, just since 2010. 95,335 kids in 2010, 81,804 children in 2011 in the U.S. In South Africa, 9,619 children in 2010, and 10,427 children in 2011, for a total of 177,139 and 20,046. So just about 200,000 kids globally, and that's just since we formalized it into our curriculum. That does not include the work that's been done around the world by the other 24 country chairs, or the 50 countries that we've done Dignity Day in last year, or the 30 countries we did it the year before, or the 15 countries the year prior. So as you can see, it's a movement around the country. We now want to fuse it into classrooms around the world as a new norm. As I think this is not just a recession, it's a reset. It's not just an economic crisis, but it is a crisis of virtues and values, and we can make this world better together. This is the first message this week on Global Dignity. Hope you enjoyed it. Check in soon.